Harper Audio presents Weekends at Bellevue by Julie Holland, M.D. Read by Julie Holland. Copyright 2009 by Julie Holland. Production copyright 2009 by HarperCollins Publishers. Note to the listener. There was a particularly dramatic 9-year period in my life when I was working in the psychiatric emergency room at Bellevue Hospital, surrounded by other doctors, nurses, hospital personnel, and insanity. Though I have done my best to portray this time in writing, it is impossible to do Bellevue justice, and I knew that from the start. Everything you will hear in this audiobook actually happened, but the Bellevue experience is unique and cannot adequately be captured by any one person's interpretation. My mind's eye's version of the events will of course differ from someone else's. Due to the sensitive nature of the circumstances, I have changed some of the identifying details to protect people's privacy, and I have changed the names of all of my colleagues and patients, except for those who have appeared in the news. Also, the chronology of some events may have been condensed, dragged out, or rearranged, but if I make a point of saying how busy it was on a given night, then I have not inflated the numbers, and if I mention what a coincidence it was that two things happened simultaneously, then they did. The dialogue in Weekends at Bellevue was often transcribed virtually word for word from notes I wrote when I got home, which I did to help exorcise the demons. They, like the more seriously ill patients, deserve our tender ministrations, but I knew they wouldn't be as interesting to read about. Bellevue is a great hospital that does great work, and I am proud to have been a part of this noble institution. Mother Nature's Son. On a warm day in early spring, 2 New York City cops and 2 EMS workers roll a gurney down the hallway, escorting a man to the entrance of Bellevue's psychiatric emergency room, where I work. Lying on the stretcher underneath a white sheet, with a head of dirty blonde hair beaded and dreadlocked, he is naked, sunburned, and screaming. I walk out to greet my new patient as the drivers hand me his paperwork to sign. "What'd you bring me?" I ask eagerly. I can see he's a live one, and love the live ones. Over the shrieking, one of the EMS guys gives me the bullet, the few pieces of relevant information when introducing a patient to a doctor. Age, chief complaint, pertinent history. "This is Joshua Silver, 23, no significant medical history, no allergies, no meds. Also, he denies a psych history," he says archly, shooting me a look. "And how'd he get to you guys? Who called 911? "NYPD called in an EDP. This is cop talk for a psychiatric patient, emotionally disturbed person. "He'd taken off his clothes in Times Square and he was parading around barking like a dog. And growling," he adds. This gets the patient's attention, and he interrupts the driver to clarify. "It was my way of showing them that I was not an animal. I am not a dog." Barking and growling to prove he's not a dog? His logic is lost on me, but at least he stopped yelling and started communicating. "You can talk to me," I say, turning my full attention toward him. "See, there were some guys from Nation of Islam preaching on the corner, and they told a woman who was arguing with them that she was just a dog, God spelled backwards, to which I took offense." He then explains to me, as he did to them, that all people are art. "Thou art art," I told them. "Once you accept that all people, all objects are art, you will live in heaven as I do." "You know what, Joshua?" I ask, having decided it is time to move out of the triage area and into the locked area. "I think you and I should go talk about this inside. I want us to sit in an interview room so I can try to get some more history, and I don't feel like standing over him while he lies on a stretcher. I can already tell he's in admission and will need to be in the detainable area for patients awaiting beds upstairs. I let EMS and NYPD know that they are free to leave, and I grab my new patient some hospital pajamas. I help him off the stretcher, wrapping his sheet around him, and walk him into the larger, locked part of the ER. As I escort him through the entrance, the door clicks definitively behind us, and I hope he doesn't notice that he is now locked in. Because he is naked, we can dispense with the contraband search, which is good. The search is often the point where people become uncooperative and agitated, ending up restrained and medicated. Prior to entering the detainable area, a patient must remove his belt, shoelaces, rosary beads, anything that can be used to hang himself or choke a fellow patient. Inevitably, the patient will insist that he is not suicidal or dangerous, but it doesn't matter. These items are not allowed in the detainable area. Neither are cell phones, crack pipes, backpacks, knives, pens, wallets, and the list goes on. The patient has to give up just about everything, along with his freedom. Luckily, Joshua is oblivious. I show him to the bathroom where he puts on the pajamas quickly. I alternate between keeping an eye on him and setting up the interview room. There are several windowed rooms within the detainable area, each with a desk and 2 chairs. I put my chair closer to the door. As we settle into our talk, the first thing I notice is that, although he is disheveled, he seems well educated with an impressive vocabulary. He tells me he has written a 28-page manuscript, which he calls a prose poem, based on his newly embraced credo that everything is art. He is hoping to reach millions of people by delivering his manifesto on the Howard Stern Show on K-Rock, a radio station in the city.